What's up, y'all? This is how changing my mindset led me to being in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. So, my old mindset and the state of mind that I used to be in was that, I wasn't in charge of my life and I couldn't change the outcome of anything, and that, how I looked and that sort of thing was just not really up to me. Like, I thought that it was genetics and all these things, and I thought, I'm doing everything right. Like, I work so hard, I'm doing everything right, and that nothing was really going to change for me. And after a while of being sick and tired of thinking like that, and the negative self dialogue, the negative self dialogue I got sick of. And I just kind of mentally told myself that, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to do something about it. So this was also, I'll preface, after a breakup. So just down in the dumps. Like, I had gained some weight and had some muscle on me. Like, I looked pretty good. And towards the end of the relationship and after the breakup, lost pretty much all my progress. Like, definitely was not eating enough. Definitely not being consistent enough. Definitely drinking too much. And one day I was just this isn't how we're going to do things around here. We're going to change this. So I told myself that I was going to gain a bunch of weight. I told myself that I was going to figure out my calories. Once I figured out my calories, I wasn't going to miss a single day of hitting those calories. And I set a program for myself that I built, and I followed it, and I wasn't going to miss a day. And anything that I had to do that day, I was not going to miss. I was not going to stop whatever it was. I was not going to miss a single day of doing it. And I told myself that. And so I started hitting my calories every day. And I started working out really hard every single day. And all that I cared about was just gaining my weight back and putting this muscle back on, because 4 months before that, I looked pretty good. And, I was happy. I was content with how I looked at the time. So I knew that this wasn't going to take very long, and I knew that I was going to be able to gain the weight back. I was probably at one point, 100, probably under, I was definitely at least 170, probably below 170 pounds. And just flat everywhere, no sort of definition, nothing, just skinny. And months before that, like I said, I looked good. Or at least I thought I looked good. And so that's what I started doing, just every day, not missing a day. I was probably working out too much. I was probably doing too much, honestly. But I didn't let myself miss. I didn't let any of my friends tell me that, I'm doing too much, or that I didn't let them say, oh, Graham, you can, bro, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do this, that, and the other. Yes, I did, because I told myself that I was going to do it. And little did I know at the time, I was just holding myself accountable. That's not what I thought. I just, was in the mindset of, I'm going to get this thing done. No matter what it takes, it's getting done. I'm not going to be some, scrawny, depressed, damn near alcoholic, drinking all the time. I'm not going to let this happen. It's just not. I'm better than that. I'm a better person than that. I'm a better man than that. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let a breakup ruin me. So that's what I did. And I gained, so if I went from I'd probably say I was around, I remember I broke 170, like when I weighed myself at the beginning, I was under 170 pounds. I think it was like 168. I went from 168 to 186. So 18 pounds. I gained 18 pounds, and I did most of this. I didn't really care about putting on body fat because I knew that I could get rid of the body fat, but I just wanted to get bigger again. I just wanted to feel strong again. I wanted to fill out a shirt again and have some confidence again. And that's exactly what I did. I gained 18 pounds in a matter of, I don't know. So this was November. So before Thanksgiving until, I think it was like April. So like 5 months. We'll call it 5 or 6 months. 18 pounds. I think it was 5 months. 18 pounds in 5 months. And I wasn't fat. Like I could still see some abs. I definitely like had some more face fat and whatnot, but I did it. I gained the weight and I proved to myself that I could do it. And I was like, dang. Like, especially when the scale, you know, when it broke 175, I'm like, okay, like that's like I'm doing something right. And then it broke 180 and I'm like, okay. And then I broke 185 and I was like, this is the biggest I've ever been in my life and the strongest I've ever been in my life. And it was like almost like I just had this epiphany, and I was like, I can really just do anything that I want in life if I just am in the mindset that I'm not going to let anything derail this train. If I'm not going to let any outside source or outside opinion affect what I want to do. And so then after that, like I said, April, I was like, okay, like we're here. Let's get, summer's coming. Like let's lose the weight. So once again, I had to go from eating an excessive amount of food to gain this weight. And immediately, pretty much, like I probably sat around 185 for like probably 3 or 4 weeks. And I was like, okay, like let's cut down, let's lose the body fat, let's see like what we built. And had to go from eating an excessive amount of food to not eating an excessive amount of food. And with that bulk, I let myself, you know, enjoy certain things that like sweet treats. And, you know, if I wanted to go out, it was like, oh, it's not, whatever. I'm going to go out and eat a couple burgers. Like, why not? I'm trying to gain weight. To pretty much completely cutting all of that out of my diet. And then on top of that, we're adding cardio to it. And I just got in that mindset again. The mindset of like when my friends want to go out to eat, my roommates, and they wanted a Dairy Queen or they wanted this, they wanted that, like, no, I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to let myself do it because I wasn't going to ruin my progress, because I had a goal. And I wasn't going to let anybody, you know, take me away from that or affect my progress towards it. So every single day I set my calories. I had my program, which was the same. I just used the same program I used when I was building the muscle, and I followed it every single day. I went to the gym 5 days a week, did my cardio 5 or 6 days a week. I did cardio, and little by little, like I had the urges to, you know, it's fine to go and, you know, like one meal won't hurt, because you're listening to people. Everyone's like this. Graham, let's go eat here. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's do this, that, the other. One meal won't hurt. One burger, one ice cream, it won't hurt. Which it's true. Like most likely it's not going to hurt. But for me, I was like, you know, I love chocolate. I love chocolate. I love ice cream. And I knew if I went and had a Ben & Jerry's, I'd be opening some doors that I didn't want to open. And I would not be, and I knew that I wouldn't be happy with myself. So I didn't let myself do it. And for some people, that's probably fine. If you have a good relationship with your food, you can do that. You can do that, because this isn't like, unless it's your job or something to, be in crazy shape, like you can live. You can do it. But I was just being a sicko, and I literally did not want to mess it. I wanted to make the most amount of progress in the shortest amount of time. I wanted to be like so happy with myself in the way that I looked. I didn't really care. I didn't care what I was eating. It was I couldn't care. All I ate was, I had 3 eggs in the morning. I'd go to the gym, or like I'd get home. I'd have 3 eggs in the morning. I'm not even going to talk about work. I had 3 eggs in the morning. Lunch, I had 2 burger patties with butter on top, sugar-free ketchup. And then for dinner, I would have a steak and 3 more eggs and usually like a little bit of rice. So I'd allow myself to have, like a cup of rice throughout the day. So if I wanted to have, half a cup at lunch and half at dinner, that's what I did. And that's what I ate every single day. And if I didn't have a steak, I had more burgers. It was lean ground beef, pre-made frozen burger patties. That's what I had every day for months. Like, this was probably 2.5, 3 months. And at the end of it, July, I looked the best that I've ever looked in my entire life. I can say that without a doubt, that was the best I've ever looked. And yeah, it was just crazy that me, changing my mindset allowed me to push myself through all of these other things. And then when I was done and came out on the other side of it, I was so happy with myself. I felt like I had achieved, which I had, but I was so excited. I was so happy with myself. And then I just thought, I can do whatever it is that I want to do. If I really put myself and put my best foot forward, I can achieve anything that I want. And through all that stuff, like through all the workouts I didn't want to do, all the cardio I didn't want to do, all the times I wanted to go and eat an ice cream or go and eat fast food, I didn't do it. Or I'm sorry, I didn't eat fast food, but I never went off track. I never did for those months, right? However long that was, like 8 months. I didn't. Whatever my plan was, whatever my goal was, I did it. And I never went away from it. And at the end of it, I realized after I got really shredded like that, it was summertime. I was like, like, I'm going to enjoy myself. Like, I've worked really hard to get here. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to, 80% of the time eat good. But, if I'm out doing something, like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself, because I'm not going to be a hard ass about this all the time. And like, what's the point if I can't enjoy it, So, I did that. And it's funny, because every time that I would eat a bad meal or have an ice cream or whatever it was, like that same day or that next day, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, my stomach, I don't feel good. I have brain fog, like all these things. And I realized that I like it. Like, it wasn't work for me anymore. The eating clean wasn't work for me anymore. I actually enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the way that I felt doing it. And the way that I felt after I ate a huge ribeye and 3 eggs and a little bit of rice for dinner. Oh my gosh. I felt amazing. I didn't feel bloated like I would if I went to Chipotle and ate a bowl, or went to McDonald's and had a double quarter pounder. Like, I felt great. And I was like, I enjoy feeling great. I like feeling great. So that's what I did. I allowed myself some wiggle room to do and eat things if I wanted to. But most of the time I just went back to what I was doing prior to that. And it became a habit for me. Eating clean food became a habit for me. So I went from, just terrible mindset, no habits, to a great mindset, great self-dialogue, and good habits. I developed, one of my habits is eating clean food. It is now a habit for me to do so. And so that's just something that was another thing that I gained for changing my mindset. Another thing that I gained was discipline. I became very disciplined. After that, even after I told myself, I'm not going to be super strict with my diet, I found myself going to the gym 5 days a week. Every week. And anybody who knows me knows I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm not going for my 5 days. I'm going to go. Like that's going to happen. And if I can't go for some reason, if I have something and I literally cannot go to the gym, I'm taking that day's workout and I'm doing it in another day. I'm going to put it on the day before or do it the day after when I can. So I developed discipline. I developed habits. And then I developed a better mindset. Then I developed habits, and I developed discipline and a really hard work ethic in the same time, all in the span of 8 months. And it completely changed me as a person. Completely changed me as a person. And then it's hard to explain. Then, after all that, and getting into the best shape of my life, and felt great about myself, it was great. And then I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and that was the best decision that I've ever made. And I will say that one thing is for certain, is that the only reason that I ever stayed consistent in reading my Bible is because of the things that I had developed previous to that, what I just talked about. So, because there were times I either like to read my Bible in the morning or at night. And there were a lot of times, and this still happens to this day, it happened to me last night, where I want to read my Bible before I go to bed, and I'm real tired, and I'm like, not tonight. Like, I'm not going to read it tonight. And what do? I snap out of that. I tell myself I'm going to do it, because I told myself I'm going to be consistent in pursuing a relationship with Christ. And so that's what I've done. I read my Bible. I pray every single night before I go to sleep. Every night. And I pray more than that, but every night, and I don't miss a night. It's just, you can take these things, you can take your mindset and evolve that into habits and discipline and a hard work ethic, and you can apply that to anything in life. It doesn't matter. You can apply that to your work. You can apply that to your relationships, anything you want. Like, if you're sick of the position that you're in at work, if you're in the corporate world and you're sick of the position that you're in, you want a promotion, you're not just going to be given that promotion for just, sitting around just doing your daily duties or whatever, and that's it, and just, I hope that this promotion falls into my lap. No. Change your mindset. Tell yourself that you are going to go out and you're going to make them give you that promotion. They're going to have no other choice. When the position that you want opens and they say, okay, we need to take somebody else and we need to put them here, there should be no other option except you. You should force them to make that decision and promote you. Work extra hard. Work longer hours. Do more work. Do other people's work. Do anything that you can, so when they say, okay, who's the best person for this? They're like, oh, it's this guy. This is the guy who we're going to put here. Look what he's done. Look at the work that he's put in over this period of time. When we didn't even, he didn't even know that this position was going to be open, but he worked his ass off. He's proved to us that he's the person that's worthy of this. Or in your relationship, when things are going tough in your relationship and it's not where you want it to be, and maybe it's your fault or maybe it's your partner's fault, but it's most likely both of y'all's fault. And you decide, I'm going to work on these things that he or she has said that I need to work on. You're gonna do it. You're going to work on them. You're gonna change your mindset. You need to get better. You're going to change as a person along the way. You're going to have some sort of personal development that's happening within you. So you just have to decide, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to let anybody mess with it. I'm not going to let anybody tell me no. I'm not going to let anybody stop me from doing it. And whatever it is, and I just talked all this time about the gym, but this can be applied to anywhere else in life. And I have applied it to other parts of my life. And it's just crazy that ultimately me just wanting to change my mindset and get in a better state of mind. I wanted to just, it wasn't even necessarily about looking good. I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted to not be just down in the dumps all the time. I wanted to just do something for myself. And that led me to applying that to the gym and to my eating. And it led me to being in the best shape of my life. And now I'll never look back. I'm so glad that I did it because now I have all this knowledge about lifting and diets and all that stuff that nobody wants to hear about. But I know how to do that stuff now, and I will never go back to the way that I was. And I'll be damned if I go back to ever being that sad, depressed person that I was then too. Because I developed the mindset that I can do whatever I want. If I find myself falling and spiraling into this, just spiraling, everyone spirals, overthinking, anything like that, you can overcome any of that with a great mindset. You can tell yourself that you're not going to let anybody or anything affect you. And you can do it. You can. Excuse me. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to share here was that, my mindset switch led to me developing great habits and a hard work ethic and discipline. And I gained all four of those things, and I got a great physique at the same time. And now I can use that mindset, use that discipline, use that hard work ethic, use those habits, and apply it everywhere in life to anything that it is that I want to do. And you can do the same. All you got to do is just switch that mindset. Flip the switch. Just flip the switch. Tell yourself, you're going to do this, and there's no stopping you. You can do whatever you want. Thanks, y'all.